The media, the elite, the wokerati, the political establishment and many high-profile publicity-hungry politicians from both the left and the right have been suckered by that odd little Swede Greta Thunberg for the last few years. I mean, just look at those who lined up to meet and praise the eco-extremist with the pushy socialist parents, despite the fact her policy prescription goes against everything the West has achieved this past century.
We are never going back to normal again, because normal was already a crisis. What we refer to as normal is an extreme system built on exploitation of people and planet. It is a system defined by colonialism, imperialism, oppression, and genocide by the so-called global north to accumulate wealth that still shapes our current world order. To solve this problem, we first need to understand it, and to understand the fact that the problem itself is by definition a series of interconnected problems. It is a symptom of a much larger crisis, the sustainability crisis. It has its roots in racist, oppressive extractivism that is sacrificing people and nature to maximize short-term profit for a few fortunate.
And let's look at the way she suckered in all of those high-profile folk.
I am so excited right now. At just 16 years old, our next guest is already changing the world. Look at her.
My name is Greta Thunberg. I am 16 years old. I come from Sweden, and I want you to panic.
What are the signs that you'd have to entice us so we're walking along?
I was thinking maybe there's no planet B.
There's no...
That's a very...
Sounds like one of yours.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not very original.
What would you say to people, especially young people, who feel like there isn't any point in doing this because no one is listening anyway?
People are listening.
You and me were a team, huh?
Yes.
Do you know about fist bumping? Do you believe in fist bumping?
How dare you?
But just like the anti-capitalist, anti-family, anti-police BLM organisation widely embraced by the MSM and big corporations across the globe without any question before their true dangerous aims and dodgy financial practices became clear, a 19-year-old Thunberg has started to reveal herself. And unsurprisingly, her agenda is a radical left-wing platform of taking down what she has declared to be racist, colonial and oppressive capitalism of the West. Yep, just like those World Economic Forum goons, Greta wants to use the self-inflicted pain of the past couple of years for what she describes as, quote, system-wide transformation. In other words, a great reset. Thunberg, who carries far too much weight in politics given she is not an expert on the environment but merely a far-left commentator, made that mad intervention at her book launch in London early this week. A book, by the way, that features contributions from figures including the disgraced World Health Organization chief Dr. Tedros, who, if there was any justice, would be out of a job. So let's just be honest about this. Let's just really think about what Thunberg has outlined. She is calling for a complete overthrow of capitalism and the freedoms granted to the working classes in the Western world the past century, like technology, travel, and a choice of what we eat, thanks to wondrous advances in the ways we live. And that's why, as an environmentalist passionate about protecting our planet since the 1980s, I find the doomsday language associated with the deranged march to net zero disturbing. It's high time the political elites realise that extreme activists like Greta aren't talking about protecting the planet through an increased use of renewables as technology advances. They're talking about a complete rollback of the ways we live, which would return us to pre-Victorian times. I mean, as the American author Michael Schellenberger pointed out, the whole capitalist system that Thunberg referred to has led to larger food surpluses than at any point in history, average human life expectancy rising from 30 to 70, and a drop in total deaths from natural disasters. So Jeremy Vine might be one of the BBC Greta mouthpieces talking about how honoured he is to interview the teenager while being paid for by us. But why doesn't he quiz her on her real motivation about the way she wants to destroy everything good about our modern way of life? Greta's dangerous anti-capitalist agenda has now been revealed, and it must not be ignored by those who have wrongly put her on a woke pedestal.